I am kind of fumbling around here because I just got surgery on my arm. So please excuse the oddity of this episode. But I'm grateful to be able to still show up and journey with you through day 23 of 30 days of intuitive eating. This journey has been one of tuning into our bodies, getting in touch with our innate wisdom, our body's intelligence, so that we can ditch the diet, ditch the scale, ditch the calorie counting, all the stress and fuss and worry that might come with it, and maybe still do those things with a different perspective to feel a little bit more alleviated and alive and healthy, ultimately. So right on. Today, our intention is I am creative. Today, we are going to create effective routines that naturally adapt to life's unexpected events. And now, diving right in with our host, Megan, as we explore this intention of creativity and how it applies to our intuitive eating.
Hello and welcome back to Intuitive Eating Encouraged. Today, our intention is to learn how to create adaptable routines, specifically around food for hunger and fullness. And so learning to adapt in the moment while still having somewhat of a plan can be really helpful. And so what does that look like? Well, maybe you already have a morning routine, right? So most of us have this morning routine we do most mornings, where like you wake up, you use the bathroom, you brush your teeth, maybe you have a glass of water or coffee, and you get dressed or shower and you start your day, right? That's your morning routine, and it probably works for you to an extent. And if it doesn't, that's okay, and you can recreate it. And then we go about the day and we often don't have any more routines, and that's it. And then we wonder why like we struggle in the midday and we struggle at night. And it's not that you have to have a routine to not struggle, but that they can be helpful to have a routine and then learn to adapt to the situation and what life throws at you. And so what I tell most of my clients is that if they're struggling midday with low energy, or if at night they're nighttime eating and they can't stop themselves from eating like that and they're not eating intuitively, that having a routine can be really helpful. And so what does that look like? Well, in the middle of the day, let's say like 2, 3 o'clock in the afternoon, a lot of people hit a slump. They get tired, right? They're low energy. Maybe it's because they ate a really heavy lunch and that's sitting heavy in their stomach. Maybe it's because they didn't sleep well. Maybe they're stressed. Who knows? Lots of people, though, that I've worked with and talked to are, between 1 and 4 p.m. are just sluggish for some reason. And they want to go eat sugar. They don't want to really listen to their body and eat for hunger and fullness. They just want to eat to get energy. And so in these moments, a routine can be really helpful, right? Going out for a walk for energy, drinking some tea, and giving yourself a mini break. Because a lot of times in our society, it's go, 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 go. Most people work through lunch or they eat while they're working at their desk, and you're not giving yourself a break. And that's what you need in those moments. So when you're exhausted, your body's like, I need a break. Give me a mental break. And so getting out for a walk, closing your eyes for 20 seconds to 2 minutes can be a difference in how your day goes for the rest of the day. A routine doesn't have to be this long, hour-long routine. It can be 1 minute. It could be 2 minutes. Maybe you write down a few things you're grateful for. Maybe you make sure you have a snack and you eat it at the same time every day to help you with energy. And so really tuning into what kind of a routine would help you and what you want to be experiencing in life. At night, same exact thing. Right now, if your routine at night is to come home exhausted, order takeout, sit on your couch and watch TV, and then fight sleep because you don't want to go to sleep yet because, you want to stay up for some reason, ask yourself if that routine feels good for you, or do you just feel like, what else is there to do and you don't know what else to do? Because you have full control and power as to what you do at night or any time in the day for the most part, and so you can create the routine that works for you. For me, a routine is something like I have a cutoff time when I finish working, especially with COVID, I'm working from home, and so like when work and life is at the exact same place, you need to have that boundary where you stop working, get off the computer, unplug, and go into your real life of home, right? Enjoy the people you live with, have a nice dinner, and be in the present moment with the people you're around. And, for the longest time, my habit, my routine was eat dinner, have dessert. And there's nothing wrong with doing this. And we also probably don't need dessert every single night. It's just a habit. And so you can create a new routine or a new habit by having a new after dinner ritual. Maybe you go brush your teeth. Maybe you go for a walk. Maybe you guys do the dishes and put on music, right? And creating the routine that works for you, that actually has you feeling good and relaxed, is going to feel so much better than just like, ugh, I'm home from work, let's just veg out, right? By all means, I want you to veg out, relax, guilt-free, right? But make sure it's working for you. Make sure that it feels good. If your routine doesn't feel good, if you're feeling sluggish and groggy, you get to change your routines. And that's all up to you. What do you want it to look like? What does your ideal day look like? You know, if your morning routine is working for you, how can you do something similar that would work for you midday and night to give you this energy and to feel really good all day, instead of falling into the pit of, I'm exhausted and, you know, I need to use food to give me a pick-me-up, and, you know, just feeling guilty for even relaxing at night because maybe you're doing it in an unproductive way or something like that. And so really getting clear on what does a routine that feels good for you look like, and not making it concrete, right? So it's not like, do this, and if you miss one part of it, you're a failure. What's the point? It's about adapting to life. So maybe your routine is that every day after work, you do a walk, you eat dinner, and then you do the dishes, you brush your teeth, and then you hang out with your family. And then maybe some nights you don't get to do that because you have a deadline and you get stuck at work later. That's okay. And when those deadlines aren't there, you can go back to your routine, right? We don't have to give up on routines. We don't have to say they're not working because life gets difficult. We just have to realize we need to adapt them a little bit. Maybe we don't have as much time, or we need to take one thing away, not forever, but just because we don't have the time to do all of our routine. And so we don't want to just give up and let go of routines. They're really helpful, and they help create new, healthier habits that can help you with intuitive eating more versus emotional eating at night. So if you find yourself kind of stuck, not knowing what to do with your day, feeling like you need a routine, this is the lesson to talk about that, right? So comment below if you feel like you don't know what to do for a routine, or comment below about what does your ideal day look like. You know, if you could choose what your ideal day looks like, morning, afternoon, and evening, realistically, like you're still going to work and you still have your responsibilities, what does that look like to you? What would you be doing during the morning, afternoon, and evening to give you more energy? What would you be eating? How would you feel because you were doing these things? And see if you can start implementing them in your day-to-day life right now, and see how that might change how you feel around food, around energy, and around your loved ones at night or when you come home from work. Because I know for myself, you know, you're stressed at work, you come home, you could bring that stress with you, and then it stresses everybody else out at the house. Maybe it causes a fight. And a lot of that can be stopped by having a different routine, right? I worked with one lady who, because of COVID, she didn't have her commute to work, which you'd think, you know, she'd be like, yeah, I don't have to commute to work, but that was her downtime. Before getting home to her 4 kids, she can listen to a podcast or music and unwind before having to put on the cap of mom and then go do mom work for hours. And with COVID, she didn't get that. And so we just said, like, well, what would happen if you just got in your car for 15 minutes and drove around the block and listened to music? And now that's what she does. She literally gets in her car and drives around the block for 15 minutes and listens to music. And she feels so much better, and she can go into her home because that's her way to break up the day. And so it's all up to you. Get creative. What do you want your life to look at? What helps you relax? What helps you have a routine that feels good for you? And then just make sure you're allowing yourself to do it and adapt, and know that it's okay to adapt to life, that life isn't always going to be perfect. It's not going to go the way it's planned, but that we can adapt and we don't have to throw in the towel just because there's a hiccup. All right. That is your lesson on creating routines. If you have any questions, let me know, and I will see you in the next lesson. Have a great day.
Nice, Megan. I love this creative intention into our routines, what we do out of comfort that maybe we don't notice we kind of got into the routine of doing. It's just kind of, it feels natural. We just do it. But to just be curious into why, and to question, you know, how might I replace the habit once I get a certain trigger to get a similar outcome, but maybe in a way that's a bit more healthy. Yeah, that's beautiful. All right, grooving into today's healthy habit, or this is the habit that we've been focusing on all week, which is our rest. Making sure we are well rested, whatever that looks like for you. Maybe that's 7 hours of sleep, 10 hours, whatever you need. I slept till 11 a.m. today because I was just had a throbbing arm and a massive headache from the surgery yesterday, and that's just what I needed. It's so nice to be able to have the creative freedom within how my life is constructed so that I can give myself the important things first: quality food, quality sleep, quality connection, and yeah, beautiful. Healthy. Today's quote is by Shunya, who said, "All routines are boring, be it a routine of a rich person or poor. All moments are interesting, be a moment of a rich person or poor. Live in the moment." All right, fortunately, I still got my good hand so that I can jam on today's journal prompt, which is, what routine around food and or relaxation would be helpful to you right now? And can it be an adaptable routine? A little bonus. Go ahead and give yourself a moment to journal on this. Okay, so for me, I would like to spend less screen time before bed. I've always enjoyed meditating upright in bed and would love to get that going again. My new favorite is brushing my teeth as soon as I feel like I've had enough to eat for the day. In general, I like to be more intentional with winding down the body, with stretching or dancing, and the mind with meditating or maybe just reading a couple hours before sleep. And then the deeper I sleep, the less I need and the wilder my dreams. So for me, one shift that I'm excited to make is to take just one sip of water, at least one sip of water, before eating a meal. Yeah. And that wraps up today's intentional session on being creative. I love how we focused on the habits and routines today, and how, with kind of like a lateral creative perspective, we can just make some slight shifts that can help us tune into our body, help us alleviate some unhealthy patterns, notice them, let them just know, notice them. That's where I am letting myself be okay. If I catch myself just mindlessly munching down some chocolate, when I notice, I'm like, I get all excited. Like, I noticed I'm doing it. Because that's most of it for me. I feel like once I notice and I listen, then, I am inhabiting this body, and so I naturally want what's healthy for it. And typically the unhealthy patterns are the ones that just don't really notice. And so for me, that's one of my takeaways. So right on. Thank you for joining me on this creative, intentional session. Tomorrow is day 24, and it is our rest day. And on our rest days, every Sunday, we hop on a community call where we chat with Megan and the rest of the fam who are just, showing up with what they've been going through on their intuitive eating journey. And it's always a blast. Always lots of laughter, lots of insights, lots of good times. So maybe for tomorrow's podcast, I will pull some fun snippets out of that. And if you'd like to join, it's open to anyone who is interested. So there's a link in the description with more information. Once you join the course, you will see an events page, and from the events, you can RSVP to our weekly live calls and join us on Zoom. It's so fun. It's so fun. We usually kick it off with a little meditation, just kind of like ground us in, and then it's just like open floor. You can ask Megan specific questions, or maybe just chat about highlights or lowlights of certain aspects of your journey. Sending you peace, love, and creativity.